Hello, and welcome to this episode of Josh, Joseph, and Jesus. Today I want to talk about a part of discernment that's very dear to my heart, and that's having fear and anxiety while trying to find the right vocation that God has called you to. In my personal story, most of you know it, I started the application process to go to the seminary as I was finishing college. And after a couple months in of the process, I became really afraid and scared of things to come. I had certain questions that were creeping in and discouraging me. And instead of being strong and faithful during that time, I ran away and I went off to graduate school in Tennessee. And when I was in Tennessee, I was able to stay in fervent prayer and to continue to search out my vocation. And I came back to South Carolina, picked up the application process, and here I am at the seminary now. But for those of you that may be struggling with that, having fear and anxiety towards whatever God is calling you to do, I want to offer you encouragement. Whether it's questions of celibacy or questions of loneliness or boredom or judgment by others, and even maybe not feeling worthy to be called to a certain vocation is definitely a big one that I struggled with, and I know that others fear as well. But think about some of the heroes of our faith. Think of especially St. Matthew, one of the 12, a tax collector. Who'd have thought that Jesus would have called a tax collector to be one of his own, to be one of his 12? The same in Mary Magdalene. Think of her life prior to becoming a disciple of Jesus. And even Moses. Moses couldn't believe that God was calling him to lead his people out of Egypt. God has a great plan for each one of us. And it's not supposed to be easy. We have to have complete trust in Him. And there are going to be times where you feel fear and anxiety, but God is with you always. Remember that God will never, ever leave you in a place where His grace cannot sustain you. He is always with you. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And He is always with you. And He has great things in store for you. So I ask that you be bold and courageous and take this to prayer and think about the many things that you fear and struggle with. But know that God is calling you to greatness and that He will be with you always. Thank you for watching this episode of Josh, Joseph, and Jesus. I'll see you next week.